Hello and welcome to another edition of A Lot of Help with James Lott Jr. I am James Lott Jr. and that's with two T's, not one. And you can follow me at alotofhelp.com, where I'm a certified life coach, professional organizer, and of course, media mogul. We're here on JLJ Media, and I have great guests that come on, and we talk about different things that can help you mentally. That's a great thing mentally, while having some fun physically too at the same time. This guest is no exception. If I start bringing up, rubber duckies, you'll understand why. I got a package in the mail that was so cute with the rubber duckies. I mean, everything. So I got rubber ducky to go with mine that I've had for years. And then her book, In Plain Sight. It's all about cosplay, using cosplay to express your inner superhero is what she says. But she's not just somebody who just dresses up. She's a mom, a paralegal, a legal assistant, an author, a blogger, cosplay enthusiast, as she calls herself. She's just working at. She looks fabulous too. Kim Henderson McAndrew. Hello.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
Good. I have a cousin who married a McAndrew actually. So
yes,
I know the name. I know a name. So I know the McAndrew name. I do. I love it. Well, to show. I always ask everybody first of all, how are you doing in this weird time period?
I am doing just fine. Honestly, I mean, I still have a job, and my kid is doing really well in school. Everybody is healthy in my family. That's really all you need.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I agree.
So, that's just, I see the news and people just, waiting in line at food banks and their unemployment's running out. And it's just, I'm totally okay. I have no complaints whatsoever.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank God, right? Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
some of us are actually doing okay, and we hope others will find their way too.
Absolutely.
Because we're all going through this together. It's kind of interesting. We're all going through this together.
Yeah, this is new for everybody.
Very
yeah.
true. And so one reason why I want you to have on the show, because I was like, okay, we need ways to keep our mind fresh, keep ourselves sane on some level, because the mind is the first thing to go when things like this happen. Trust me, we have some crazy stuff. I'm already crazy as it is anyway, no pandemic. But I had to find ways to take care of myself. And just on a side note, recently, on January 6th, I'll be on Let's Make a Deal, dressed to talk.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Has to go on. I said, sure, why not? Okay, so I have a big taco costume, and
oh my God, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so I knew you understand that. So it's kind of like,
yes.
So for me, I'll share this with you, and I want you to expand on this, putting on the costume and being outside in the costume. Going to the studio. I mean, that's very important. I say this to you. So being outside in the costume and all the kind of, not just the looks and things I was getting, but there was a sense of empowerment. Like, I'm not crazy. I'm doing this for a reason.
Right.
But also it brought, afterwards, I went to Fat Burger to get something to eat. I was hungry. I was starving, actually. They didn't feed us because of COVID. I'd been there all day, and I walked into a burger place dressed as a taco. So that made a lot of people laugh, and everybody in the back came out, took pictures. so there is something to that, being out in costume, that could bring you warmth, joy, happiness. Can you expand on that a little bit, please?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so interesting when you don't even have to be in a full costume. You can just be in something that's inspired by a superhero, like a dress with Captain America's on, like what I'm wearing right now. It's got Marvel print on it, and it's a conversation starter. People look at it and they go, oh, I really like that too. And then you get to meet new people that way. You get to talk to them, and you just have a shared experience. And the only reason you know about that shared experience is through what you're wearing. And if I didn't have that on, we would just, cross paths and never know that, we have this in common. And so it's a great way to connect with other people.
True. We all want to find connection anyway, right? That's something we all naturally want to find connection. So why not through something cultural, which in this case it's arts, which are very important, aren't they? Arts are very important.
Absolutely. Oh, totally.
I want people. I want to say that as I have my baby Yodas, you have your stuff behind you. This stuff,
Exactly.
it's important. I mean, it really is just as important as law and health. I mean, it all. I mean, is it true? I think it's proven that this kind of stuff helps with health and
Yes, absolutely. Telling stories and reading stories is just how we connect with the outside world and with each other. And it's monumentally important. It's shared life experiences, and it's also, fictional stories of things that would never, happen to you, and what that would be like, and just kind of how you compare your life to the fictional characters. All of those things are so very, very important. And no matter what, work you decide to go into, if you can make those connections to other human beings, your work, whatever it is, will be better.
explain to what your definition is of cosplay. I've always wanted to ask this. I mean, I know it means
Yeah,
costume. I know what the
costume
word comes
play, yeah, yeah,
right. But what is
everybody.
it? Yeah, but what is it? I've always
um
asked this. I never asked this before. So, what is the definition? You think?
my definition of cosplay is wearing anything inspired by something in pop culture, whether it be a full head to toe costume, or something inspired, or even just, wearing a t-shirt with Baby Yoda on it.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's anything and everything basically to me. You can go all the way, full screen accurate costume, or you can just, put something on that, you enjoy, and other people will enjoy seeing you wear out into the world, and just sharing that experience with other people.
How is that? Is that different than dressing up for holidays? Dressing up for Halloween? Obviously, that's the biggest one, of course. But there's other holidays we'll dress up. Is that all inclusive, or is that different?
I think it's all inclusive. I really do. I saw a YouTuber that I really like the other day, went to the Knott's Berry Farm Christmas event that they're throwing. And you can't ride the rides, but it's just a food festival. But a lot of people were dressed up, and they were dressed up as elves, or they were dressed up as
Ah,
Santa, or and not even like full Santa or anything like that, but just something red with the white on the collars, and yeah, or just a hat. And I think that's very, you're putting on another persona. You're definitely saying, look, I'm you know Santa Claus. I'm here to enjoy the holidays and have fun, and be full of joy, and the spirit of the season. So I think you're absolutely saying, no, I'm here to play, and that's part of cosplay. You don't have to have the fake beard and the whole bit.
so, what do you say to people who may say, "Well, that's silly. That's just silly stuff," and you're still being a kid, and that's for kids, or whatever. Like, what do you? I'm sure you get that all the time. I,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
how do you respond
The
to that?
Southern thing is a very Southern thing is, well, you should really act your age. And I'm like, oh, ugh. And I was like, well, how does a 53-year-old act? I mean, by whose definition are you acting like a proper 53-year-old person? And I don't understand people that are like, okay, well, I'm a grown up now, so I'm putting away these things. And it's like, don't those things inspire you still? Don't you enjoy them still? Then why are you punishing yourself just because you marked another year off of the calendar since you were born? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. And so I know that there's a difference between having fun and being mature.
Right, right, right.
My son, says, adulting, doing it, I'm adulting. And And people are like, oh, that's just lame. And I don't like to use that word. I love to use that word because I think it's very appropriate to show that, no, I handle my own stuff. I go see my doctor once a year. I go get my teeth cleaned. I pay my bills.
Right.
But I also absolutely love to tune in to the new Mandalorian episode every Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and have been known to stay up really, really late, hoping they'll post it after midnight.
Oh, girl, I was there. Refresh screen. Refresh screen. Refresh
Refresh.
screen. It's 12:02. It's 12:03. Where is it? Where
It's
is
like,
it?
it's time. I've waited long enough. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, that has been me as well. But at the same time, I also get up the next day and go to work on time.
Yeah.
You can do both. You don't have to put away, things that inspire you and that you enjoy just because you're older. That just does not make any sense to me
So
at all.
true.
Yeah.
I'm 51. I'll be 52. So we're in the same group.
Yeah.
I have an aunt who's almost 80, and she and I are silly all the time with each other. And she said something that I've interviewed many older people in the business, in the entertainment business, and about 7 or 8 of them said the same thing. The reason why they're still able to do whatever they do is because they remember what it was like being a child. Their inner
Yeah.
child guides them still in their 60s,
Sure.
70s, and 80s. So I feel like what you just said goes right into that. It's like, why give up that inner child? I mean,
Yeah.
you're not a child.
Absolutely.
Clearly, you're not 12 years old. I mean, like, we know we're not 15.
I'm
And
good. Yeah.
so,
I make plenty of jokes that are 12 years old
yeah, ask.
esque, but
Yes.
I know that they are.
Right. Yeah,
you know,
that's
I
the
always make the joke, if I see something silly or laugh at something, as funny sound or whatever, I'm like, well, because apparently I'm 12 again. So, here
I
I am.
love being silly. Trust me, I love to laugh, so I'm always
Oh my gosh, yes.
all right. Do it, but I like you said that because we're told 18 years old, that's it, adult, and I get on some level why they try to tell, especially our generation, why they told us that to make it, but then they didn't really tell us, give us the tools to say, well, but also keep the playful side too. It's okay to
Mhm.
have hobbies and likes, and you can like Marvel, you can like. Well, back then maybe it was a Smurfs or something, or whatever, whoever it was, My Little Pony, and all those groups are so big. I mean, those groups are big today, as you know. I mean, they're
Yeah.
nothing to this. There are adults that are these are mostly adults that are in this stuff. And so it's like it's not for play, it's for real. Um,
Yes.
you know, so for you going back, when did you were you I don't remember having the term cosplay when we were kids, obviously. There was no term for
No, it was coined sometime in the mid 80s
okay.
by a Japanese writer. He was a journalist. He was covering different comic book conventions and anime conventions. And he just got tired of typing out costume
Yeah.
and being in costume and costume, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, cosplay, done. There. There. I created a new word. And it's very accurate. And it covers just a multitude of things, and all of them really good and really positive.
This book is very interesting because it literally is a guide. I tell people today,
Yes.
in plain sight, get this guide. You get it because you talk about different types of cosplay, which I didn't know. You give tips, which you have pictures, of course. I love your pack list for cons because I have a lot of colleagues who go to cons to cover them.
Yes. Yes.
But they're also into cosplay at the same time. So I'm like, you guys need to
Right.
get this book. You spell it out for people, and then your checklist of building cosplay teams. I was a Spice Girl back in the '90s. There were a group of us. There were Spice Girls. Pictures are on the internet somewhere. We were Spice Girls, and I almost wish we had that checklist to kind of like. We had a couple of conflicts. There's nothing bad. I mean, we worked it out, but it was kind of like we had a list of like each person, what we were going to do, how we are going to do this. It probably would have ran a little smoother. We knocked it out. You're young. I wasn't that much
Mhm.
money. We knocked it out. But I like your checklist with the team thing because I think it's because teams be a little tricky, right?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like nerds just really we really like to do things the right way. We like to, quote unquote, get a good grade. So we just have a tendency to just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Got it.
And just saying, oh, well, just, let your imagination go crazy and have fun with it. And it's just like, no, 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 no. That's how I get laughed at. So I'm not
Oh,
doing it.
funny. Funny.
What I do want to do is I want to do this cosplay correctly so that people, there's nothing that they can go, look at you look ridiculous. They can, all they can do is say, oh, wow, that looks exactly correct.
Yeah.
And so to give people confidence, I thought, how, what language do they understand? And it's like, well, everybody understands a superhero team, no matter if you like Marvel or you like DC or you like, Dark Horse, whatevs. They all have superhero teams and they all have kind of the same, yeah, Spice Girl type characters. There's,
Yes.
they all have they all have that caricature of that archetype, I should say.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, you're going to build your team, and so I just translated it to clothes, because especially with some men nerds, they're like, yeah, no, I don't do fashion. It's like, no, it's too hard, I don't want to do it. If I can't just wear a t-shirt, then forget it. And it's like, no, 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 you can do this. You can be very fashionable and you can do this.
Yeah.
Just build your team and then you'll have all the pieces, and you did it right, and nobody's going to be able to poke fun at you because you did it correctly.
Well, the thing is, there's something when you meant we were talking about the Spice Girls stuff, but there is an element of each person, each superhero, each Spice Girl has a distinct look.
Yes.
But also, you have to kind of work together too, because you're trying to create a story, right? When you do team
Mhm.
cosplay, it's a story in there somewhere. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're doing Justice League or something like that, you want to make sure everybody has their costume like they're supposed to have, but then like,
Right.
how's it all work together? I guess like both, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like if you choose to do a team, if you just choose to do the Avengers, are you doing comic book Avengers? Which comic book are you doing? Are you doing the movies? Okay, which movie are you doing?
Wow.
Because
Okay.
their outfits look different
Yeah.
depending on the movie. I mean, how serious do you want to get down to the nitty
Gritty.
gritty of
Like the nitty gritty. Exactly right.
how bad do you want to do that? And then there's other, stylized cosplays, which are just so much fun because, we've had a friend of mine had a group that was Disney characters in suits.
Okay.
And the criteria was, you know, you pick a Disney character and you went on Facebook, there was a list and you could say, okay, I call so and so Cinderella,
Okay.
and they'll be like, okay. And so the deal was is that you had to cosplay Cinderella in a business suit and not a dress.
Okay. Okay.
And so then you took it from there. And I was in this the same friend had a group the first time I cosplayed, which was Poodle Skirt Avengers. And that's why I jumped right in, because I just love the 50s so much,
Yeah.
and I love the Avengers so much. I was like, do I can I do this? I'm like, I think I can make this happen. I don't know, how to sew. I'm learning now, but this
Okay.
was years ago.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to sew anything. I was like, but I'm like, I can find a poodle skirt and I can find the
Yeah.
piece that can put them together
Yeah.
and make it work. And once you do that, you're just watching movies and going, okay, yeah, I can totally find that jacket. I can find this piece. I
Yeah.
can do this. Yeah, I don't have to sew anything.
Make
And
your
I
make your
put it all
thrift stores your friends. Make your thrift stores your friends.
Yes. So gosh, thrifting is such a
Exactly. I know. I know.
big,
Oh, don't
yeah,
trust
it's a
me. I know.
huge part of it.
Well, I know when trying to find my Spice Girl outfit. I found my platform shoes at a thrift store. I found a couple days on Melrose. I was on Melrose finding. I found me.
Oh yes,
I
yes,
found me some stuff on there back in the day.
yes.
So I do know that. Why the book? What was the impetus for writing a book?
Um, really, COVID was kind of the jumping off point because I was here at home. I wasn't spending hours in the car every day commuting back and forth to my day job.
Yeah,
So I had the extra time, and my boyfriend just said to me, he's like, you've talked about doing a workbook for so long. Why don't you do it now? Because you're never going to have this time at home again. So you
yeah,
should put it together. Put
that's good.
together that workbook you've been talking about. And I was like, he's right. I should, instead of sitting around here watching the news and just
Yeah,
being, scared to death all the time,
yeah,
do something else with my
yeah.
time.
Those early days were scary. Yes, I remember that.
Yes, they were.
It was,
It was just
it was,
terrifying. Okay. Oh, wait, working from home. I have to let the cat out of the
hey,
room.
I love it. I do. I love it. Everybody, folks,
Oh,
we're at home. This is Zoom, folks. This is real. This is real time. Let the cat out.
yeah, she was, I knew, I was like, she's napping. I'm like, she's gonna wake up halfway through, and I just know
They're
she is. And
they're
she
like
did.
children.
She did.
Very at a very inopportune times they need you. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
I have two
because
daughters.
it
I
helped me
know how it
out.
is. I know how it is. I know how it is. Animals, children, they're all the same thing.
Yes, it brought me
Basically.
out of the room.
It's like, come on. So okay, so I mean, okay, I'm seeing you have, all this stuff right there. So I mean, so I'm assuming there is no favorites, or do you have? Is it a book too? You're
I
you know
would
you're
say
all over the place. You have a range.
I do have a big range.
You do.
I love Captain America so much
Okay.
because
I see the necklace.
yeah, I just adore him so much because he just, he doesn't like bullies. And I was, and when I was a kid, I was bullied so much.
Okay.
And just to see him just stand up for himself all the time. And then when he does, get his muscles and he's all, good looking and all the girls are like, woo, he doesn't change. He stays that wonderful person that does the right thing and fights the good fight. And I'm like, I really, I kind of wish I had known about Cap when I was a kid, because
Yeah.
I didn't get into comic books until, gosh, about 10 years ago.
I was going to ask you. That's my next question. So no. So you
Yeah,
just still
I
read.
was I was a fantasy fiction person and a Star Wars person,
Yeah.
and just didn't do the superhero thing at all until the movies started coming out and friends would go, "Hey, let's go see this movie." And I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, sure, why not?" And I was like, "Oh, I like that actor. Yeah, I'll go see it." But they were so good, and it made me interested. So I would go to the comic book store and go, "Okay, now I need to know more and backstory and all of that."
So do you read comics and graphic novels, all that kind of stuff on a certain one? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new obsession for me is Squirrel Girl. I
Okay.
love her.
Don't know who that
She's
is.
she's she is she's a friend of Kamala Khan, who's Miss Marvel,
Okay.
and there's going to be a Disney Plus series, Miss Marvel, coming up.
Oh, okay.
Not, I don't know if it's next year or the year after, but I have a feeling Squirrel Girl will make an appearance.
Yeah.
She actually can. She has a prehensile tail.
Okay.
She can communicate with squirrels. It's
Okay.
true. I love
Squirrel
her
Girl.
though.
She's Squirrel Girl. So I mean,
She's adorable, and she's just this teenager, and she just and and yeah, she just happens to have these powers, and she fights crime as with her squirrel powers.
I like it.
Which
I
I
like it.
just
Why
think
not?
is hysterical.
I know,
And
but
so
like why?
I'm
But like why
hoping,
not? Like
yeah, so I'm hoping she will make an appearance in the Disney Plus series. So I wanted to know more about her. So I'm reading some of those comics now.
the thing is, they're all. I mean, the thing about the fantasy world, and that goes from science fiction all the way through to superhero and all that. It's very creative. It's a world that's very creative, and
Yeah,
how they take like from a squirrel. Squirrels have tails. Like we're laughing, but like, well, that what her power should be in her tail. Like it's kind of like
yeah,
they
it
made
should
it.
be a style.
Should be. Like, why not? Like, sure, why not? So, so it makes sense to me. And, I mean, like, maybe she throw nuts at me. I don't know what she does. But I mean, I feel
Yeah,
like they took something that actually is out of reality on some level and they fancified it some more and made it into something
yes,
fantasy. So I think that's the thing about art. It goes back to the art thing, the art piece of this, and how this world is it's so interesting because it's so, and like you said, you really could dig down to some of the meanings that some of these creators come up with this stuff. Like there's a double meaning for this and a trope. Because I know Captain America, another one was one of those that wasn't he brought up because of the 50s or so, like something, it was some kind of 40s or
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He started out as a war propaganda
There
for
you go.
the US. I mean, he really was, you know, his first appearance, he's punching Hitler in the face.
There you go. See?
And it's like,
Boom.
very nice.
It's very
Good
nice.
move, man.
Yeah.
Like, good job, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he started out as, rah rah, go team, World War II, yay. And he's, turned into, so much more now.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought I remember reading that somewhere. I was saying, so you just never know. They may look silly to you, but there's
Mhm.
reasons why Superman was created. There's reasons why. I mean, there's reasons why some of these
Yes.
characters were actually created. And I like
Yeah.
that now they're becoming more inclusive now. They're starting to change some of the narratives, and they're also bringing out old characters that were kind of pushed aside that may have been of color or of female. I mean,
Mhm.
so Miss Marvel's very interesting because isn't Miss Marvel basically Captain America also, basically, but female?
She she actually has powers where she can make herself bigger and smaller. And so she'll say, "I'm biggin," and her fist will get ginormous, and so she can just, and just knock somebody out. But yeah, her thing now is, she's Muslim, and her parents and her brother are very traditional, and she grew up in the United States, so she's just like,
Yeah, I love
why are they so like this?
that. Right,
And they immigrated before she was born, so they know what life is like in another country. She doesn't.
right.
And so she's just like, what is the big deal, you guys? And they're all like, oh, you can't, tradition, And she's just like, she's like, I just want to like Captain Marvel, and I just want to read my comic books, and I don't see what the problem is. And I just want to, I want to be like Carol Danvers. And she realizes that the bravest thing that she can do is to be herself and to be Ms. Marvel and to look like herself, not be blonde and not be Captain Marvel, because that job's already taken. But we need a Miss Marvel. And she's doing a bang up job of that. And so she's terrific. She's just came onto the scene, and those books just really just, even though I'm a middle-aged woman, I was still just reading them, and I'm not Muslim. I'm as white as it can, as can be, from Arkansas. I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
so white. And
and I
I'm
love
just,
it.
but I still just, I
Yeah,
I read it, and I remember just, you know having parents that are like, they had this nerdy kid, and they were like, I don't know what to do with this child. This girl that curls up in the corner and reads books all the time. Don't you want to go outside? I'm like, no.
I love outside. I love outside.
Yeah, like, do you want to go fishing? And I'm like, no, I do not, because it's hot outside and I'll get dirty, and I don't like that.
Thank you. You tell
Like,
them, girl. That's right. Like, no,
I'm an indoor girl. Do not ask me to do that.
that's so funny.
And yeah, so I just kind of get that, where she's just like, the whole parents just don't understand.
Exactly. Yes,
And it's true. It's so
yes, they don't.
true.
And back then they did, and God bless them. Back then they didn't have the tool. They didn't know. I mean, they just weren't raised that way to handle kids who are artistic a lot of times,
Right, right.
that weren't sports minded and roughhousing and all that. They don't do what do we do if somebody wants to, act or wants to, sing or wants to, they don't just deal with that kind of stuff and wants to dress up or likes to read. A kid who
Yes.
likes to read, that's crazy. I was a racist reader growing up. I mean, that was my escape, was reading,
Yeah.
all the time. I read
Yeah,
all of it,
absolutely. Yeah.
definitely. But now speaking of parenting, you have a son who's
Yes.
into it also now. So
Yes.
you lucked out. So you have a son. So what does that feel like? And was it natural for him to kind of fall into it?
Yeah, it really was because he would he would pick out, different shows to get into on his own, and they just happened to be, Marvel stuff. And so he would say, oh, I want to go to the movies with you. And I'm like, okay, I think, I would go. When he was young, I would preview them and then go, okay, this one's okay, you can go see it, and that type of thing. And he he actually just he got into cosplaying before I did.
Oh,
He was very much okay, I have to put on my Spider-Man outfit before I can do anything, play with my toys.
right.
And because I would get up in the morning and go into his room, and he would be, hey mom, and he'd be in his full Spider-Man head to toe and playing with, Legos or whatever. And I would just be like, cool, that's okay.
Okay.
And so he was very much, yeah, please, yeah, oh, I would love it if you would dress up with me. I would love it if you would dress up with me. And now it's like, I don't want, yeah, no. he's 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 a teenager now, and so it's like, no, it's like, you cosplay with your mom. It's like,
I know. I
oh,
was like, hello. But it's sweet though. It's sweet
yeah.
though.
Later on,
Yeah.
it'll be cute, and now it's so not.
Oh, I
So
love
not.
it. No, I get it. But I'm just saying, but it's
Yeah,
cute. Yeah, you look back on it, that was very sweet. That was very cute.
yeah.
That's
It's a
very cool.
bummer, but yeah, but yeah, someday like college, he'll be like, yeah, okay, I'm over it. We can do this again, and I'll be like, yes,
Yes, exactly. Well, I
I
mean, that's
got
very
through the
cool.
teenage years.
Well, it's very cool it's very cool that just for you that he became a teenager who likes that kind of stuff. So it wasn't like an opposite thing, which happens sometimes.
Mm-mm.
Or oh my
Yeah,
god, that's why, mom, why do you do that? Oh my god, he's not doing that at
yeah,
least, so that's good.
yeah, yeah. No, I've been very lucky that he likes a lot of the same music I like. And yeah, and he also, takes an interest in fashion as well. um he's got his look, and he likes to put things together. But like I said, at the same time, it's not gonna cosplay with me again anytime
So
soon.
funny.
But that's okay.
That's okay. It's okay.
Can
Now,
wait.
for Halloween, did you dress up?
This Halloween, I did not. I just put on, what did I put on? Oh, I just put on my Wednesday Addams dress. I didn't even do the wig. I just put that and a witch hat on, and I put some candy out on a table in my driveway, and just put a sign and said, take some candy. I'll see you guys next year, and I miss seeing you. Because we have a pretty good presence of trick-or-treaters.
Okay.
So I wanted to, make sure that they all got stuff, and they did. But yeah, I didn't. But this year, no. But usually, yes, I will. It's weird. Um, I'll do a costume, but it'll be something from not from a Marvel movie, and not from Star Wars. And I'll pick something like Wednesday Addams, which is just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
perfect for Halloween. And and I could wear it to a convention, but
Yeah.
I'm usually just not doing that. And then like I have a really good Rosie the Riveter that I like to do Halloween. And again, I've seen Rosie the Riveter at cons
Yeah.
before. So,
Yeah. Do we?
but I kind of go more pop culture for Halloween, and then go right back to Star Wars and Marvel for the rest of the time.
Do you? I mean, you don't know. We don't know anything, but I just wonder: will there be cons again? Will there be in person cons again? Not talking virtual, but in person.
I think there will be. I think they're going to have to limit the tickets that they sell.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot like Disney, where I think it's going to be harder to get in, or it'll be easier to get in
Right, you're
because
right, you're
people are
right.
going to stay away. I'm not sure which way it's going to,
Yeah.
swing. And it'll be a very different experience. We won't be crammed in so
Right.
tight,
Wall
which
to wall.
actually will be kind of good.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
kind of okay with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and because I'm already just I haven't been in Hall H and at Comic Con in years because I'm not sleeping on the ground. I'm not doing it.
I don't blame
I'm
you,
not
girl. I don't blame you.
in it. It's
Yeah.
not happening.
Yeah.
Especially when somebody's going to sneak the footage up on YouTube in an hour anyway.
Right.
I'll just watch it there.
Right.
I'll just watch the
Right.
bootleg before it's taken down.
Right.
I totally will.
We're of that age now. There's certain things we ain't gonna do no more.
I'm not sleeping on the ground. Forget it. It's
Yeah.
not happening.
Yeah.
And but I think that's going to go away. They're just not going to be able to allow that
Yeah. I agree.
kind of,
I agree with that.
yeah, that mass of humanity. It's going to be very different.
I know, it's a shame. But it's always nice to be around people who are like-minded like you, and you get that natural high of being around other people
Yeah.
who are all
Yeah.
there having the same fun time, right?
Yeah. Cause I have friends all over, California, and I only see them at conventions. And then
Yeah.
I have friends that are in other parts of the world that I only see at conventions.
Yeah.
So I'm missing that
Yeah.
pretty hardcore. I don't know. I think they're going to have to do something like where you just have to purchase the experiences you want to have. Maybe like, like a convention floor ticket versus an
Right.
autograph ticket versus a panel ticket. I don't know how they're going to do it. It will come back.
Yeah.
It just, it will. It's just the form is going to be just totally new and different.
Yeah.
But maybe not necessarily a bad thing
Right.
because it had just gotten so. I know San Diego had gotten to the point where my son and I both were like, "Do we really want to go?"
Right.
Because it's so expensive and it's so crowded and you can't go to any of the panels. And this year we were going to go for Thursday to the Her Universe fashion show and then walk around on Friday, and we were going to leave Friday night.
Oh,
We weren't,
okay.
yeah, we were not gonna
No, in
stick
and
it
out.
out.
In and out.
We were in and out this year, but then it didn't happen. So
I know, they're great. So, do you dress in some sort of cosplay every day?
pretty much,
Yeah.
yes, I would say, yeah. I even if it's just, you know, a Yoda t-shirt,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because I'm just working from home and I'm not going anywhere.
yeah,
So I'll just throw that on.
yeah.
And if I'm going out, then yeah, I'll be like, oh yeah, I need to take this dress out. I haven't worn it in a while, and depending on where I'm going, if I'm going to a different a Christmas event,
Yeah,
then I'll wear something you know inspired
yeah,
or Disney or whatever.
yeah. That's cool. The book is
Yeah.
Plain Sight, you guys. Look at that cute little handsome ducky right there, right there, right there.
The
If you're
little
listening,
dirty girl.
to this, I'm pointing to a ducky. I'll post a picture on our page. Otherwise, you'll see him. It's cute. Where did you get him from? He's cute. You make him?
He let's see, the little nerd duck came from Oriental Trading.
Okay. Oh, them. We know them. In the
Yeah.
catalogs all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
So cute. I love it. In Plain Sight's the book. Kim Henderson, McAndrew, Kim Henderson McAndrew is the.
Yeah, that's close enough.
I know, it's like, I'm just like, oh, I said the name correctly, at least the name. Kim Henderson McAndrew, that's the name. You're lovely. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you for having me on.
maybe one day I'll use this thing one day. Who knows? You never know. When
Please do. And then take pictures
of course,
so we can see them.
of course. Maybe I'll be a Spice Girl again in a 20-year anniversary.
Oh, yes, please.
That'd be so funny. I have the wig.
If they go on tour again, then definitely.
Well, yeah, well, that was the whole thought. If they went on tour, we were going to dress as them, of course. I mean,
Yes, fingers crossed.
fingers crossed.
Mhm.
Tell me where they can find your book, In Plain Sight, and where they can find you on the social medias and online.
Yes, my blog has a menu button that says buy the book. And so
I like
just
that.
go to, buy the book. It's
And to the point, folks. I love that. To the point.
yeah, just do it.
Just do
So it's inplainsight.style. And you can also find me the same inplainsight.style on Instagram. And you can DM me on that as well. And then finally, email is also inplainsight.style at Gmail if you want to email me.
I think I'm following you now on Instagram. I gotta make sure I'm following.
Okay, great.
I think I am. I'll make sure for sure. I'll make sure for sure that I am.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll give you a follow back.
Yeah, you follow back. So make sure for sure, and well, I saw stuff.
Yes.
I'm sure. I think I saw some pictures of yours. They were fun. So I think we're gonna work on. I like this little outfit. It's cute. You guys can see this cute outfit.
Oh God, yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I know it's cute.
Oh yeah. Universal monster movies are the best. They really are.
Yeah, no, I grew up with them. Trust me. I grew up with Elvira, Mrs. the Dark, watching her stuff.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Of course. Have you ever met?
Saturday nights.
Have you ever met her?
And I have not met
Me
her.
neither.
I've seen her.
Yeah.
I've seen her at Kamikaze a couple of times.
I've met her.
And
I love.
yeah, she's awesome.
She
She's
is.
great.
She is. Talk about cosplay, ultimate cosplay. Yeah, she's
Yes, I know. She's awesome.
the bomb. Folks, so this is a lot of help with James Lott Jr. Follow us on all social media platforms at a lot of help. We're on every streaming service. We're on my YouTube channel, JLJ Media. I'm at James Lott Jr. We're all James Lott Jr.'s soul. James Lott Jr. everywhere, even on TikTok. I'm on TikTok, folks, talking about all kinds of stuff. So follow an old man. Follow see what he's doing on TikTok. Follow me there too. But everyone, please have fun, stay silly, keep your inner child. Also be safe and clean all that stuff too at the same time. And have a happy holiday.